The night was quiet in the valley, the kind of quiet that feels soft and safe, like a blanket wrapped gently around the world. Stars glittered above in their steady glow, and the moon leaned low, spilling silver light across the meadows and forests below. Deep in the woods, where the trees grew tall and the air smelled faintly of pine and moss, a little fox named Rowan stirred in his den. He yawned and stretched, his fluffy tail curling around his paws as he blinked sleepily at the sky beyond his doorway. It was the perfect night for dreams, the kind of night when the stars seemed to hum softly, promising gentle adventures for every creature who closed their eyes. Yet, when Rowan laid his head back down and closed his eyes, something strange happened. Nothing came, no soft dream of running across golden field, no gentle picture of clouds drifting him into the sky, no warm, sleepy stories, only stillness. Rowan opened his eyes again, puzzled. He tried once more, curling into a tighter ball, tucking his nose beneath his tail. But again, when he closed his eyes, the dreams did not come. The little fox sighed, his ears drooping. "Why can't I dream?" he whispered into the quiet of his den. His voice was small, almost lost in the hush of the night. He tried to remember what he had dreamed of before, running with the deer, talking to the stars, floating on rivers made of light, but the memories slipped away like water through his paws. Feeling restless, Rowan rose and stepped outside. The forest greeted him with calmness. Fireflies floated low, their lights blinking softly like tiny lanterns. An owl hooted gently from a branch, her voice slow and reassuring. The grass beneath Rowan's paws was cool with dew, each step leaving little damp prints behind him. The world was alive with peace, yet inside, the fox felt a hollow where his dreams used to live. He tilted his head toward the moon and asked softly, "Where have my dreams gone?" The moon didn't answer, but its light seemed to shimmer in a way that made him feel noticed. Far off, at the edge of the forest, Rowan thought he saw something glow, a faint, steady light pulsing in the distance. His paws itched with curiosity. Maybe, just maybe, that glow knew something about the dreams he had lost. Taking a slow breath, Rowan padded forward, his tail brushing softly against the grass. The glow shimmered again, brighter this time, as though calling him closer. Rowan's ears perked, his heart beating gently in rhythm with the night. The forest around him seemed to hush even more, guiding him onward with quiet anticipation. And so, the little fox began his journey, leaving the comfort of his den to search for the dreams he had somehow forgotten. Rowan moved slowly through the forest, his paws pressing softly into the moss that covered the ground. The glow ahead pulsed faintly between the trees, steady and inviting, like a lantern held by unseen hands. He kept his ears perked, listening to the soft sounds of the night, the gentle rustle of leaves above him, the faraway call of a nightingale, and the quiet hum of crickets weaving their music into the darkness. Each sound wrapped around him like a calm lullaby, but his heart still held its question. Where had his dreams gone? The little fox padded onward until he came to a small clearing. The glow was brighter here, and as Rowan stepped closer, he saw the source at last. Resting on a smooth stone in the very center of the clearing was a tiny lantern, no bigger than Rowan's paw. It was made of silver vines twisted together, and inside flickered a flame that glowed not orange or red, but a soft blue, the color of starlight. Rowan tilted his head, his whiskers twitching. "Are you the one calling me?" he whispered. The flame flickered higher, and a voice as gentle as a sigh drifted out. "Yes, little fox, I am the lantern of forgotten dreams. I carry the glow of every dream that slips away before morning." Rowan's ears pricked, his heart giving a hopeful thump. "Then maybe you have mine?" I can't dream anymore. When I close my eyes, there's only silence." The lantern swayed slightly, its light brushing against the grass in soft waves. "Dreams are never truly gone," the voice soothed. "Sometimes, they wander away when a heart grows restless. To find yours, you must follow me through the night's quiet path." Before Rowan could answer, the flame flickered again, and the lantern lifted slowly into the air, hovering just above him. Its glow bathed the clearing in a calm blue shimmer, soft enough to make the shadows retreat. Rowan blinked in awe. "You can float?" the lantern hummed. "Dreams always find their way upward. Come, little fox, walk with me, and we will search together." Rowan's tail brushed the grass as he stepped forward. He followed the lantern as it drifted slowly out of the clearing and back into the forest, its glow spilling across the path ahead like a trail of stars. The fox felt a small spark of hope blooming inside his chest, warm and steady. Not far along the path, they came to a tall oak tree where an owl sat perched, her feathers silver in the moonlight. She blinked her round eyes and tilted her head at Rowan. "Why are you awake, little fox?" The night is meant for dreaming. Rowan lowered his ears. That's just it, he whispered. I've forgotten how. I can't find my dreams anymore. The owl hooted softly, her voice low and calming. Then you are right to follow the lantern. It will guide you. But remember, dreams are not just found, they are also shared. Perhaps you will meet others tonight who hold pieces of what you've lost. Rowan's ears lifted at her words, and he gave a small nod. The lantern pulsed brighter, as though agreeing. With a final blink, the owl spread her wings and floated into the air, leaving Rowan and the lantern alone once more. The path stretched on, silver light falling gently over moss and wildflowers. The night grew deeper, but Rowan no longer felt empty. The glow of the lantern and the owl's kind words were already filling him with something quiet and new, something that felt like the very beginning of dreams returning. Rowan padded deeper into the forest, the lantern floating just ahead of him. Its blue glow spread across the ground like a quiet stream of starlight, guiding his paws with every step. The trees above leaned together, their branches swaying softly, and the stars peeked through the spaces like watchful eyes. Rowan felt calmer now, though his heart still carried its longing. If dreams are never truly gone, he thought, then maybe tonight I will find mine again. The forest grew wider as they walked, opening into a meadow bathed in moonlight. The grass swayed like a silver sea, and soft flowers glimmered among the blades, tiny blossoms that seemed to breathe light, their petals opening and closing as though sighing in sleep. Rowan's eyes widened at the beauty. He stepped carefully, his paws brushing against the glowing blossoms, each one releasing a gentle fragrance that reminded him of warm nests and starry skies. At the center of the meadow stood a stream, clear and still. It did not rush or bubble like other streams. Instead, it moved so slowly that its surface looked like glass, perfectly mirroring the moon and stars above. The lantern drifted toward it and lowered until it hovered just above the water. This, it whispered, is the stream of memory. Sometimes dreams hide here, tucked inside reflections, waiting to be noticed. Rowan stepped close, peering into the shimmering surface. At first, all he saw was his own face, his amber eyes wide, his ears perked, his whiskers trembling with curiosity. But as the water rippled softly, shapes began to form beside his reflection. He saw himself as a smaller fox, tumbling through the grass as a cub, chasing butterflies while the sun glowed warm above. He saw the first time he curled safely into his den, listening to the heartbeat of the earth. He saw soft, forgotten moments of joy, like when he had once dreamed of touching the stars with his paws, or when he imagined running so fast that he could catch the wind itself. Rowan's breath caught. These were my dreams, he whispered, his tail swishing slowly. Yes, said the lantern, its glow pulsing like a heartbeat. Dreams often slip into memory, but memory keeps them safe until you are ready to welcome them back. As Rowan leaned closer, a ripple spread across the water, and from the stream rose a shape, small and delicate, shimmering like mist. It was a moth, its wings painted with tiny constellations. The moth circled Rowan once, its wings brushing his fur with the softness of clouds. Hello, little fox, the moth said, its voice barely more than a breath. I am keeper of night whispers. I carry the pieces of forgotten dreams on my wings, so they never vanish completely. Rowan blinked in wonder. Do you have mine? The moth landed gently on his back, glowing faintly. Some of them. A dream of running with the stars, a dream of sleeping under the branches of a silver tree, and a dream of meeting friends you did not yet know. Rowan's ears lifted. Friends? Who? The moth gave a soft hum. Perhaps you will find them tonight. The lantern's light swayed slowly, as though nodding in agreement. Each step will lead you closer. Dreams are found in pieces, and each companion holds a part. Rowan took a deep breath, his heart warm and steady now. He felt the moth's weight on his back, light as a feather, and the lantern's glow ahead. Together, they left the meadow, the stream fading behind them, its reflection slipping back into silence. As the three of them moved deeper into the night, Rowan no longer felt quite so empty. He was carrying pieces of himself again, pieces of dreams returned. And somewhere ahead, he knew more pieces waited. Rowan followed the lantern's steady glow, the moth resting lightly on his back, its constellation-speckled wings rising and falling with the rhythm of his steps. The forest seemed to grow even quieter now, as though holding its breath, waiting for him to discover what lay ahead. The path curved gently, lined with tall ferns that shimmered faintly as the lantern's light brushed against them. The little fox's paws pressed into soft soil, cool and damp beneath the night air. He could hear the slow murmur of something ahead, not water this time, but voices, low and hushed, blending together like the hum of the wind through pine needles. His ears perked, and his tail twitched as curiosity stirred inside him. The lantern floated higher, its blue flame glowing brighter. "We are close," it whispered. "This is the grove of shared dreams." They stepped into a wide, circular clearing, and Rowan froze in awe. Around the edges of the grove were animals of every kind, gathered together in peaceful stillness. A deer with velvet antlers stood beside a family of rabbits. A pair of badgers rested near a hedgehog curled into a ball. Birds perched low on branches, their feathers gleaming like fragments of the moon. Each creature's eyes were half closed, their bodies swaying ever so gently, as though caught in the same dream. Above them, lanterns hung from the branches, not silver, not golden, but glowing in all colors of the rainbow. Each lantern held a faint image inside, a squirrel dreaming of climbing the tallest oak, a fawn dreaming of dancing in meadows, a tiny sparrow dreaming of soaring to the clouds. The lanterns flickered with every sigh, every breath, as though recording the dreams of all who slept beneath them. Rowan's whiskers twitched, his paws felt still, rooted to the earth, as he took in the quiet miracle of the grove. The moth whispered from his back, its voice like the brush of wings. "Every creature leaves a piece of their dream here each night. In return, they are given dreams of others, carried home like gifts. Dreams are not only personal, Rowan, they are shared, like stories told around a fire." The fox blinked slowly. "So, maybe I didn't lose mine. Maybe I just need to listen to others, too." The lantern pulsed with light. "Yes, a dream forgotten by one is remembered by another. Tonight, you are invited to listen, to carry what you need." Rowan stepped forward, paws careful on the moss. As he sat at the center of the grove, the lanterns above began to sway, their colors blending into one another. A hush fell even deeper, and then, softly, he began to hear them. Not just whispers, but entire pictures flowing into his mind. He dreamed with the deer of running through fields where grass sparkled like starlight. He dreamed with the owl of gliding on silent wings above silver rivers. He dreamed with the rabbits of curling into cozy burrows lined with flowers. The images washed over him gently, each one settling inside like feathers landing softly on the earth. Rowan's breathing slowed, his body unwinding as the quiet filled him. His chest no longer felt hollow, it glowed, warm and full of borrowed dreams that felt just as real as his own. The moth shifted on his back, its wings glowing faintly. "Do you feel it, little fox?" Rowan nodded slowly, his voice hushed. "I do. It's like I can dream again. Even if I forgot mine, there are always dreams waiting to be shared." The lantern's flame pulsed brighter, casting light across the grove. The other animals lifted their heads slightly, their eyes glimmering as though they, too, welcomed Rowan into their circle. A hedgehog gave a sleepy nod. A bird trilled one soft note before tucking its beak back under its wing. Even the deer lowered its antlers gently, a silent blessing. Rowan's heart swelled. He wasn't alone. The night itself was offering him pieces of what he thought he'd lost. The lantern swayed slowly, its voice quiet. "Now you are ready for the final step. Beyond this grove lies the dreaming tree, where all dreams gather before they return to the world. There, you will find the peace that belongs only to you." Rowan lifted his head, eyes wide, though his body felt heavy with calm. He glanced at the moth and whispered, "The last piece?" The moth's wings trembled with light. "Yes, the dream that is yours alone, waiting to come home." Rowan took a deep, steady breath. His tail curled around him for a moment, as if to hold the warmth he had gathered. Then, with the lantern drifting ahead and the moth guiding from his back, he rose and padded softly toward the path that led beyond the grove. Behind him, the animals of the night settled deeper into their slumber, their shared dreams glowing in the lanterns above like stars captured in glass. Ahead, the path narrowed, leading into shadows touched with silver light. And Rowan walked on, his heart no longer empty but eager, ready to find the dream that had been waiting just for him. Rowan followed the narrow path that stretched beyond the grove of shared dreams. The night had grown softer still, as if the world itself was falling deeper into slumber. The lantern floated ahead, its blue glow steady and calm, while the moth on his back hummed a low, soothing note that matched the rhythm of his paw steps. The forest here was hushed in a way Rowan had never felt before. The air was heavy with stillness, yet not frightening, more like the quiet of a room just before sleep. The trees bent over the path, their branches arching together until it felt as though Rowan was walking through a tunnel woven of shadows and silver light. His tail brushed the earth with each step, his paws sinking softly into moss that seemed to cradle him as he walked. At the end of the path, the trees opened into a wide clearing, and Rowan's breath caught. In the center stood the dreaming tree. It was taller than any tree he had ever seen, its trunk thick and glowing faintly as though carved from moonlight. Its branches spread wide, reaching out to touch the sky, and from each branch hung thousands of blossoms. They glowed in every shade of soft color: lavender, peach, silver, pale blue, and each blossom pulsed faintly, as if it was breathing. The ground around the roots shimmered with fallen petals, glowing softly like stars scattered across the forest floor. Rowan stepped closer, his eyes wide. He felt the warmth of the tree before he even touched it. It radiated calm, wrapping around him like a blanket of light. The lantern floated higher, its flame bowing slightly toward the tree. This is where every dream rests before it is carried into the night. Yours has been waiting here, little fox. Rowan's ears perked, and he whispered, almost afraid to speak too loudly. Mine? The moth spread its wings, starlight scattering from them. Yes, Rowan. The dream that is yours alone. You will know it when you feel it. The blossoms swayed gently, though no breeze stirred. Rowan walked slowly around the tree, his nose twitching, his tail swishing softly. Each blossom he passed glowed faintly, releasing scents of rain, honey, wildflowers, and sweet pine. They were beautiful, but none tugged at his heart. He began to wonder if he would ever know which dream belonged to him. Then, near the lowest branch, he saw it, a blossom smaller than the rest, glowing with a soft amber light. Its glow was steady, not as bright as the others, but warm, like the color of his own eyes. Rowan's heart gave a gentle thump, and he felt his paws pull him closer without hesitation. He pressed his nose against the blossom, and in that instant, warmth rushed through him. Images bloomed behind his eyes, himself running through fields of starlight, curling into cozy nests of moss, meeting gentle friends in the hush of the night, and finding the courage to walk through the forest even when he thought he had nothing left inside. His lost dreams unfolded like petals, returning to him in waves of comfort. Tears pricked at Rowan's eyes, though he didn't quite understand why. It felt like being found. It felt like being whole again. The lantern pulsed, brighter than ever. This is your dream, Rowan. The dream of belonging, of remembering that you are never alone. It wandered, but it never left you. Now, it will always stay. The moth brushed its wings against his ear, whispering, carry it with you, and you will never forget again. Rowan curled his tail around himself, his body trembling with peace. Thank you, he whispered, his voice thick but steady. I thought I had lost everything, but it was always waiting for me. The dreaming tree swayed gently, and one petal drifted down, glowing as it landed at Rowan's paws. He bent to touch it, and the glow spread into him, filling every corner of his heart with calm. He felt heavy now, not with sadness but with the weight of rest pressing gently against his eyes. The lantern floated lower, its flame dimming slightly. It is time, little fox. The night has given you back your dreams. Now it will guide you home. Rowan glanced once more at the great tree, his heart brimming with gratitude. The blossoms swayed as if nodding farewell, their glow steady in the hush of the clearing. With slow, steady steps, Rowan turned back to the path, the lantern guiding him and the moth still perched on his back. The forest seemed even quieter now, as though everything had settled, preparing for its own slumber. Rowan knew what came next. He would return to his den, to the warmth of his mossy nest, carrying the dream he thought he had lost. And for the first time in so long, he felt ready to close his eyes. Rowan padded softly along the path that led back through the forest, the lantern floating just ahead, its blue glow dimmer now, like a candle slowly winding down for the night. The moth rested lightly on his back, its wings folded, humming so faintly it sounded more like a heartbeat than a song. The world around them was hushed, the branches above still, the air calm and cool. Every creature seemed to be settling, every sound fading into the slow, deep quiet of sleep. The fox's paws pressed into moss and soil that felt softer than ever, almost like the earth itself was guiding him gently home. The glow of the dreaming tree still warmed his heart, its memory pulsing inside him with every breath. For the first time in many nights, Rowan felt whole. He hadn't truly lost his dreams, they had only been waiting for him, safe, hidden, until he was ready to carry them again. They passed once more through the meadow where the blossoms glowed faintly in the grass. Rowan slowed to breathe in their fragrance, and it reminded him of every dream he had just reclaimed, running with stars, curling into nests, listening to whispers of night. He gave a small smile, his whiskers twitching as though thanking the meadow itself. Further on, the stream of memory shimmered quietly in its bed. Rowan stopped to peer at its glassy surface one last time. His reflection looked different now, not because he had changed, but because his eyes were brighter, steadier, filled with warmth. The moth on his back brushed its wings once more. "You've found yourself again," it whispered. Rowan dipped his nose in gratitude, and they moved on. Soon, the forest opened to the small clearing of his den. The lantern drifted lower, its glow soft as a sigh. "Here we part, little fox," it murmured. "But remember, if your dreams wander again, the night will always guide you back." Rowan lowered his ears, touched by a quiet sadness at the thought of goodbye, but the moth's voice soothed him. "We never leave, Rowan. We live in the quiet you carry inside you now." The fox curled his tail gently around himself and whispered, "Thank you, both of you. I'll never forget again." The lantern pulsed once, then dimmed until it faded into the air, like a star returning to the sky. The moth shimmered faintly, then dissolved into silver sparkles that drifted upward, joining the constellation it had come from. Rowan watched until the last glimmer disappeared among the stars. The forest was silent now, but it wasn't empty. He could still feel them every step of the journey, every whisper, every light, woven into the quiet around him. With slow, tired pause, Rowan stepped into his den. The moss felt softer than ever, cool and gentle beneath him. He curled into a ball, tucking his nose beneath his tail, the warmth of the dreaming tree's petals still glowing inside his chest. The walls of his den felt closer, like an embrace, and the moonlight spilling through the doorway painted a silver blanket over him. His breath slowed, deep and steady. Behind his closed eyes, pictures bloomed again, dreams flowing like a river. He dreamed of lanterns glowing in meadows, of moths carrying stars on their wings, of sharing whispers with other creatures of the night. He dreamed of Goodnight Hill, of soft blossoms, of skies that leaned low to listen. And in every dream, he felt safe, held, and loved. The night above sighed and settled into stillness, the stars dimming slowly as though tucking themselves in two. The whole forest seemed to breathe with him, calm and steady, rocking him gently into slumber. And in that hush, a promise lingered, quiet but strong: you are safe. You are loved. Your dreams are never lost. They live inside you, waiting for the sweetest sleep. The moon dipped lower, the stars curled into silence, and Rowan, the little fox who had thought he had forgotten, drifted into dreams deeper and softer than ever before. Everything was still.